workshop on research grant writing and international funding opportunities. Research is the backbone of innovation and progress. Today, we come together to explore how to translate brilliant ideas into compelling grant proposals and how to tap into the vast pool of international funding opportunities available to us. This workshop is designed to empower researchers, academicians, and professionals with the skills and strategies. Prayer is a link that connects us with God. Let's all rise for Tamil Thai word.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெள்ளொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் நரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகம் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே தமிழனகே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
All this begins with warm words of welcome. To set the tone for this inspiring day, I now invite Dr. R. Nagaraja Prakash, Associate Dean, Center for Research and Accreditation, Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan University for the welcome address.
I'm indeed very happy to invite you all for this workshop on research grant writing and international funding opportunities. I'd like to start the welcome note by Honorable Chancellor, Worthy Pro-Chancellor, for making this event possible. I would like to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. C.K. Ranjan, for the workshop to be offered by Dr. S.K. Varshini, Scientist G, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. I would also like to welcome Dr. S.K. Varshini. Thank you, sir, for coming all the way from Dehradun to Tamil Nadu. We are very happy to have you here. I hope this session will be highly engaging and useful for our faculty members. I would also like to welcome Dean Agriculture, Dean Medicine, Dean Engineering and Technology, organizing secretaries, and faculty members from various schools of Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan University. See, I'll just finish the welcome note with very few words on this workshop, the purpose behind the workshop. See, as a university, we are actually committed towards training our faculty members and then, invest in their capacity building towards research which is impactful, which can have a real world meaning. So that is the whole idea behind, that's the motto of the university as far as research is concerned. So we are working towards that goal, and then this one event is part of that, it contributes towards that goal. So grant writing or any scientific writing, it takes a lot of effort. You need to have a very sound knowledge, or you have to do a lot of literature search to write something in science. And it is not just writing. Writing science is actually an art itself. This is what I was discussing with Dr. Varshini, a couple of minutes ago. So it needs a lot of storytelling to convince the funding agencies to invest in your project. I think that is why we have to learn the nuances of writing a successful, a winning grant proposal, because these days it has become highly competitive. Even if you have a great number of publications, but if you are not able to put forth your ideas, research questions carefully, we might end up short of getting the funds. So I request each and every one of you to make use of this opportunity created by this university. Please interact with the expert, and then I hope this session will be highly, highly useful for you. Thank you all. I welcome you all for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is an honor to invite Dr. C.K. Ranjan, Vice Chancellor, Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan University, a distinguished leader and visionary in the field, to deliver the inaugural address. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. S.K. Varshini, Scientist G from the Department of Science and Technology, the deans of various colleges, associate deans, the organizers, the faculty members, and PhD students. This morning, we have organized this morning session where you will be interacting with Dr. Varshney on research grant writing, whether it's from our own country, funding from our own country, or from international agencies. A university like ours has got multiple roles to play. And one of them, of course, the important one is training and teaching students. But equally important is conduct of research. And the national educational policy, which came out a few years back, places a lot of research, emphasis on research. Done to conduct research because you got to have many things in place. Our university is young in the sense that we start off in 2021. So it's just been about 3 years. A well-established university would have had a lot of infrastructure in place, equipment and things like that. Being a new university, setting up all these things take a little bit of time. We are in the process of doing it. And this is one of the challenges that we have. I accept that it is not up to the mark as that we would have liked, but we are on the right path. And I'm sure in a few years, we will have most of the facilities that we want for. To set up a central research facility where all of you could, conduct your research over and above what you do in your respective colleges or schools. We have certain plus points at this university, and that is that it's a multidisciplinary university. Being a multidisciplinary university, it gives you an opportunity to interact with people from other disciplines and probably plan things which are research which is interdisciplinary. Most of the time it happens that if you're in an engineering college or you're in a medical college or agriculture college, you just have only those things or allied things along with you. So your research gets restricted to only that particular field. But things are changing, and we require research across disciplines. And that is the biggest advantage that we have in this university. I was discussing with Dr. Varshney just about a few minutes back. I want you all to interact with one another and see and explore areas where you could conduct and do meaningful research. To conduct research, it's important that you have adequate funding. And there are many funding agencies, both in the government and private, or for that matter, international. But anyone to give you funds, they've got to be convinced about the research that you're going to carry out. And that is where today's session plays an important role. Unless you can communicate and put across what you want to do, funding agency, you're not going to be successful. So, like was mentioned, writing a project is like a storytelling and it's an art. And I'm sure today's session you will gain gain much as far as writing proposals are concerned, because that's the starting point. You might have very good ideas. You probably to germinate those ideas, you've got to do some work. And to do that work, you require equipment, you require funds. And that can only come when the funding agency is really convinced that the project that you have put up is makes some sense and is to some extent viable. So, keeping all this in mind, it's important that we learn the art of drafting or writing these proposals. You're all members of the faculty here and also PhD students subsequently probably if you take up academia or for that matter research. It's not only what you learn, you got to teach the students, the undergraduates and the postgraduates who are here with you how to write a research project. It's very important because if you see these ideas in their mind at this very stage, probably it will benefit not only the students but the institution and the country at large. So it's important that whatever you learn here, it's not only for you, but you let this percolate down to the young students who are there with you as assistant professors, associate professors or professors. It's your responsibility just not only to teach them, just academics is not the only thing, it's research also plays an important role, and I want student research and I want interdisciplinary student research to happen, and I've said this at various forums. Yeah, you are the right people who can do that. So I urge each one of you that whatever you gain from here, please pass it on to the younger students who are here and let them conduct some research. We can give them some seed money, a small amount that is required if a good proposal comes from the students. I'll now like to commence between you and the chief guest, because you've got a lot to learn from him. I wish the very best for this particular sessions, and I hope each one of you benefits from it. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to honor the guest with a memento. Please, sir. Thank you, dignitaries. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. I'm delighted to invite Dr. K. Balamurugan, Organizing Secretary and Coordinator for Research Grants and International Relations Cells, CFR, to deliver the felicitation. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Dr. S.K. Vasni, sir, a warm welcome in the month of December to DSU. A hearty congratulations for your success on a challenging journey from Dehradun to all the way to Tiruchirappalli, DSU. You are our chief guest and also a vital person for the workshop, because without you, this gathering is impossible on the day here. Your scientific and professional achievements are really still thrilling to me personally. Life is a journey. The journey has many challenges and gives many memories. We all thank you for accepting our invitation to visit DSU and taking up a challenging journey and giving us a good memory that will help us to write good research proposal and win grants, as well as find opportunities for international research collaborations, etc. Overall, your expertise in research and international funding opportunities are truly renowned, and we are really excited to hear it from you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I invite Dr. O.S. Ashik Rahman, Entrepreneurship and Pre-Incubation Cell Coordinator, to introduce our chief guest. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really honored to introduce Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Vashni. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Vashni, former head, International Scientific Cooperation, Ministry, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Vashni is a Delhi-based science facilitator and promoter. He has more than 33 years of experience promoting research and connecting scientific groups across the nations. He writes and delivers talk on importance of research, subject of contemporary scientific interest, gender equality in science and engineering, and international scientific cooperation. He is a member of Academic Council of H.S. Gaur Sagar Central University, Research Council member for JSS Academy of Higher Education Mysore, and also Manipal University, Jaipur. He was head of the International Scientific Cooperation in the Ministry, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India till January 2024. He joined DST in the year 1990 and had facilitated international scientific cooperation from the Department of Science and Technology with its bilateral, multilateral, and regional scientific partners. From 2017 to till January 2024, he was the Indian co-chair, governing body of the Binational Indo-German Science and Technology Center and also Binational US-India Science and Technology Endowment Fund, the both promoting joint industrial R&D Board of Directors of Private Limited Company, Global Innovation and Technology Alliance, and he was a member. And he was also a member of Governing Council of the International Advanced Research Center of Powder Metallurgy, ARCI. It's a DST sponsored R&D lab. And he was the Indian focal point for BRICS Working Group on Science and Technology and OECD Committee on Science and Technology Policy. He was also the governing body member of the US Indian Education Foundation during 2018 to 2022 and the member Board of Research Studies in Department of Geology, Aligarh Muslim University during the period of 2018 to 2020. He was plenipotentiary representative of India to the International Center for Science and Technology Information, Moscow, during 2012 to 2023. He has worked as a counselor, that means science and technology, with the Embassy of India in Moscow to facilitate bilateral scientific cooperation between India and Russia during April 2008 to June 2011. He has been actively contributing to promotion of international scientific cooperation as well as scientific industrial cooperation. He completed Master in Geology in 1984 from Aligarh Muslim University with University Medal for obtaining first position. He qualified UGC NET in 1985 for Junior Research Fellowship and Lectureship. He pursued research at University of Delhi during 1985 to 1999 on Himalayan river system. He was also awarded Dr. D.N. Wadia Research Fellowship in 1986 for his research on Himalayan geology. He has been conferred Doctor of Science by Amity University, Rajasthan. He is Life Fellow of Geological Society of India, Bangalore. And he is also a Life Fellow of Nepal Geological Society and Kathmandu and member of International Association of Sedimentologists, Oxford. He also has numerous certifications to his credit. He also taught at Kurukshetra University in 1990. He has written several articles on science policies, focusing on international scientific cooperation. He is also involved in science popularization, for which he writes regularly in newspapers, magazines, and journals. Thank you.
Thanking knowledge is the key to unlocking that power for others. I request our today's chief guest, Dr. S.K. Varshni, advisor, scientist G, retired, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, for the keynote address to highlight key strategies for crafting winning research grant proposals. Welcome, sir.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, good morning. It's good to see you all, and I thank Dhanlakshmi University, Dhanlakshmi Srinivasan University, for inviting me and to have an opportunity to talk to you. Before I start my formal presentation, I requested Vice Chancellor Dr. Ranjanji to be here for some time, so that I could at least convey my core message. You know, there is no age for doing research. All of us are born researchers. So as a researcher, two things we require. One is curiosity and another is creativity. So if we have, all of us have got those two virtues in us, whether it may be very strong or it may be feeble, but that virtues are there. Whenever you are thinking, you are utilizing both of them. So if I could take you back to your school days, remember second or third time when you did not do homework, you created an excuse. Okay? That is your creativity. And of course, curiosity has always been with you to know things about what is happening here and there. So I always feel that both curiosity and creativity could answer.
But question is, if someone should put their investment on us, that is the key question. Because most of the research funding you are going to explore is going to be competitive research funding. And in competition, each small fraction of point could put you on either side of the game. So you have to be rock solid. You need to know where you are going and how you are going. 3-4 questions, if you could understand very well. Number one, why I have chosen a particular subject. If you could answer that question. Why? Because it is very important that you are doing something novel. You are doing something which help us in addressing a particular question, particular challenge, particular difficulty being faced by our society. Or you are working for a product which has a requirement in the market. So why you must understand, why you are doing it. If you have answer to this question, proceed to the next question. How you are going to do it? Is it logical? Those kinds of things. Third thing is, why you? Why you are the best person to do that particular challenge which you have opted for yourself. So you need to defend yourself. It is only your proposal and your biodata and your institution. So referees would like to know if you are the best person to do it. The question I would like to give you is, what are you expecting at the end of the tunnel? Once you have done this project, what is the likely outcome and who is going to be possibly a user? So if you have answered these 4 questions, I can assure you the referees would find it much easier. And as Dr. Nagaraja Prakash has mentioned earlier, communication is key. It's not important that only you know it. It is important that you are able to communicate it to those who are going to read and make a recommendation on your proposal. So please keep these 4-5 things in mind. Of course, we will discuss various aspects of writing, but these 4-5 things, irrespective of your subject, they are very, very important and you must get it. So maybe in a formal session, we'll discuss it a little more. And my good wishes to all of you. And I would like that subsequent to our discussions today, many of you are prompted to write and complete for research. Thank you very much.
Hello. One thing I have a request Please feel free to stop me anywhere and ask me questions whenever you feel anything is there. So we could discuss that. Well, whenever some idea comes to you, it comes in a very, very jumbled form, and you are not very confident how things would be done and how you could make a better way of saying that, yes, this
Project has so many questions. Who will be doing that? What will be doing that? So we need to reach a situation where we say yes. I am going to put up a proposal. I am going to write. And I can tell you, if we divide our task, several questions what we are going to that are coming into our mind, into several milestones, it makes it very clear. So what is the proposal? Is basically I need a state of knowledge that describes what we are going to do. Okay. And once you have written, you can review it. It gives you ample opportunities to see in what order you will be doing. You can actually plan your time. Okay, I require 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. It's not important that for some activity you have given 3 months and it takes 6 months. What is important? You should know how long it is going to take, so that you know if you are running on schedule or you are taking longer. Some of the targets you may reach much before your anticipated time goal. Some targets may take a little longer, but it helps you in planning. So when you are doing your next project, you know how much time you need to allocate for this thing. Second thing is, it's a guide. Guide in the sense that it tells you are supposed to do this, you have still not done it, you need to do it. You have done it and you have got results which are better than this. So also the second thing is the money. So not only time, but budget is also important, because all of us do not have unlimited money to do research. So we need to know how we are going to orient us within those goals. So basically, we say what is writing project, something that is bothering you, something that is in your mind, you can translate it into paper and communicate to the funding agency. So several times in our country, funding agency will take the proposal directly. But some other time, they may say, for a particular task, we have identified referees, you can send to another. For example, if we see in other parallels, let us say current science. Current science will never say that you send to the editorial secretary. They have identified a number of editors. Depending upon the subject, you can directly send it to them. Okay, you can send it to the secretary, that will also be processed. But if you send it to the subject editor, it goes faster. And then just a small pictorial that nothing is impossible. You can convert your ideas, you can write it very well, and you could do it. Now, this is only a suggested, especially for science and engineering. But there are many agencies in this country which are funding research, and all of them probably are not here, but you will find a lot of opportunities for research being supported. And then there are some international grants also. Of course, today we are going to discuss on writing. grant part we'll discuss a little later, but keep it in mind, each funding agency is different. Each scheme is different. So you need to be very clear if you are appropriate candidate for a particular scheme. For example, suppose you are in the field of medicine. You cannot participate in all ICMR calls. You need to be relevant to that particular call for which you are responsible. So make sure that we are applying for the right purpose. Purpose is fund giver's goal. What fund givers want. So that only we should be right. So first thing is identification of the problem. So you should know, as I said a little ago, why you are doing this particular question. So framing a question is very, very important. And when you are forming a question or the objective for the project, you need to be very, very clear why you are working on that subject is important. Because it should be something which, when you are discussing with your colleagues, they find it what exciting. So if they are not excited enough, then probably you are not doing something novel. Because the moment you get a new idea, you discuss it within your own community who are working on roughly similar things. So they can tell you if your idea somebody else has worked upon, or somebody has worked in close proximity, or it is something very different. Okay, so that must be very clear. And then of course, we said it a little ago, communication is the key. Your idea with you is good, but when you are telling it to others, are they in a position to absorb it? So that is very important. So we must make a problem statement in a way that people are excited. Now I must tell you, being part of Department of Science and Technology and having met a lot of referees, referees may not read your proposal further if they are not excited enough with your objectives. So if they feel your objectives are vague, your objectives are too wide or too ambitious, probably they find it not in good taste. So my suggestion to you is remain focused. Promise only what you can do and still keep your focus on one or two issues which excites you most and on which you can deliver. Second thing is, who is going to be beneficiary of your research? Of course, publication of paper is one thing, or generation of IP in any form, maybe design, maybe patent, copyright. But what next? In a country like ours, where a lot of research funds are not available, we are hoping researchers to solve the problem of the country. So any research for which there is an end user, you will find easy acceptability in terms of grants. But if it is only a basic science paper, it is little difficult. I am not saying impossible. It is little difficult. Because basic purpose of what we say blue sky research is only to generate knowledge and publish it. But these days, funding agencies have become a little bit more greedy, and they would like you to identify potential user and user.
so that they know that their investment could be utilized further. Here I must say, none of the agencies say basic research is not allowed. They all welcome it. Because it takes several times, use time, to convert your idea into a product. For example, Aryabhatta discovered zero. It was a great tool of basic science, which helped us in calculation, in particular in multiplication and division. But Aryabhatta did not know that it could be applied. Today, when we are living in digital world, banking on binary system, we know the importance of it. Probably Aryabhatta didn't know. So what I'm trying to say, those of you who are working in basic science, need not to get absolutely discouraged. There are some grants used for them, but little bit more competitive. But if you have identified an end user, funding agency a little easier. Now, several times we feel, I can do this project by myself. Okay. So, for example, a chemist or a biochemist or pharmaceutical chemist working on a new medicine, he feels or she feels, yes, I can develop a new molecule. But can you do it without a clinician? It is impossible. Because where is the field trial? You have limited access to your laboratory. It is important we identify who are other potential contributors in our project. Here I must say, our growth has been subject vertical. So we think only from our subject perspective. But when we are discussing this issue with faculty from another background, we get a better idea. So we must realize that when we are writing a project, we must make a field which can contribute on several parts of the problem statement. And then think big but achieve. This is very important because whenever you are going for the granting system, referees are more interested to know what are the previous projects you did and did you honor the commitments you have made. What is the outcome of your previous project? So if the previous projects convinces them that, okay, this is the kind of investment you have been already given, and now you can go a little more, then they would be more excited to support your proposal. Now, proposals are written in different forms. So one is the full project, which is probably easier. All of us are used to it, and I'll describe it little later also. But the second one is more difficult, which is called pre-proposal. Pre-proposal primarily is a representative of the full proposal. But you need not be that elaborate. You need to give your ideas. But it is very important in the sense, referees would be reading only pre-proposal, and if they did not find it but, then they will not invite you. So it is a concise story of the idea, how you are going to do it, what is likely outcome, so all those things in a form. So that is something what we are calling pre-proposal. White paper is giving any funding agency an idea that why they should not start a new program on such and such theme. Okay, so whenever you feel that you are excited about an idea, an area where no direct support is available, you could write a white paper, give it to the funding agency, you feel more appropriate, so that funding agency could consider, and if they feel as strongly as you are feeling, then they could consider creating a new theme for research. Now, what they are looking for in a proposal? One is innovation. So, as I said before, when you are setting up your process, it should be exciting enough. And then referees are looking, what is the new thing you are going to do? What is the value addition you are going to bring in? How innovative are your ideas? So you need to convince them that how your project is important, how you are going to do it differently. I hope many of you would recollect when Maggie introduced the sauce, hot and spicy. So Pankaj Kapoor used to come and say, it's different. So that different has a connotation. So innovation is nothing but different. It could be a different way of doing things, different targets you are expecting, any kind of difference you are bringing in existing knowledge. So that is what is called innovation. Second thing is language. It is very important. You know, several times people would like to get to impress the referees, and they would use terminology full of scientific jargons, full of throwing themselves. Yes, I know this word also, this word also, this word also. Okay. It is always easier to communicate, to convince other fellow of your ideas, and that is possible by a language simple. So if you are writing a simple language, it helps. Then, as I said, relevance. You know, we are trying to address challenge. Now we must know why, how we are going to do it. For example, I tell you, there are each company, each phone company is coming up lot of newer model every year. How they are doing it? They are going to the market, they are going to analyze users' experience, what users are looking in, and then they add those features in newer model. At the same time, they need to be cost efficient because it is market, they have to survive. Okay, so same way we need to understand, are we relevant? Relevant to the problem statement, relevant in terms of time, relevant in terms of cost. So if we are relevant, then it is okay. And then, as I said, why you are the best candidate. And here, referees are looking at two things. Primarily, so have you done research? It is reflected by your publication. So they read the title and make an assessment. What are your area of strength? They also read where have you published. That tells them what is your quality as a researcher. So if you have published your previous publications in highly indexed journal, you are a very good researcher. If you have published indexed journal, you are a good researcher. But if you have published in non-indexed paper or only in workshop papers, then I am afraid researchers, referees are not going to value them. So it is important that you are publishing in indexed journal. Second thing, referees are looking at what is your publication track record after your PhD? Because PhD you have done with a guide, mentor, supervisor, whatever you call it. So publications that have come, they are influenced by your guide. But subsequent to that, what have you done? That is something where you are the leader. So it is important that we keep publishing. Now here one more thing I must say, especially to senior faculty. Most of the referees are interested to see two things. Either your publication in last 5 years or some key contributions. Maybe you have published one paper in Nature, one paper in Science, or one of those journals. Okay, so that people know, yes, they could beg money. Then next thing is feasibility. Now, feasibility is something, a big question mark, especially when we are talking about younger audience, where referees may not be confident what kind of setup you have got or research infrastructure. So if you are forming a research question which requires certain infrastructure facilities, make a statement whether your institute has those facilities or not. In case you are not having those facilities, you could have a dialogue with the institute where those facilities are there. So that will help you in terms of infrastructure feasibility. Yes, this is one more thing coming back to the individual strength. In case you feel that your publications are not strong enough to work in this area where you are proposing, please go for collaboration. Collaboration with established worker, because then it would be the combined strength of 2 of you or 3 of you that would be found. Okay, so if you feel that your previous record is not good enough, please think initially in terms of a collaborative program. Collaborator could be a colleague in your own department, could be in another department, could be in another institution. That is up to you. Make sure that when you are going forward, it is submitted with good intent, so that referees be convinced, yes, thank you. Done. And then other thing is time schedule. So we need to understand what is the time limit prescribed by the funding agency. Sometimes it is 2 years, sometimes it is 3 years, sometimes it is 5 years. So we must develop what we can do within that. Now, very often it so happens that funding agencies may invite you for a presentation. Now, you must understand how assessment is done. So there are 2 rounds of assessment. In first round, proposal is sent what we call for referee. Referees are the person who are working in area of close proximity to you. And then in the second stage, you are invited for presentation where people of broadly in your area, they may not be very proximal to your field of work, but they may be. For example, you are working in astrophysics. So in first round, proposal will go to all astrophysicists people. Again, you may specialize, for example, you are working on dark matter, you are working on light, you are working on certain planet or certain celestial body. So depending on that, it can go. But when it comes to presentation would be by a group of physicists who will understand several other physics besides. So of course, in the second round, they have comments of the referees who are in close proximity to you, but they would like to see your personal enthusiasm, how enthusiastic you are with your own idea, how do you carry it. So, if you are going for presentation, must make sure that your body language is such that referee, the reviewer sitting over there, feel that you are excited enough to do this. Because they broadly see whether you understand it, they will question you something and whether you responded correctly and how you are carrying yourself. So these three things are very, very important. And then of course you should have a good idea about the studies being made in those particular disciplines and then deliver. What I told you, deliver. This is something I am not going to discuss. I think all of you are familiar what a project it is and how it is to be structured. Remember, there would be different formats for each scheme. But before entering into those formats, if you have developed your proposal on this format, it will give you enough strength to write on questions being asked in a particular form. So this is something very, very important, and you should, I think there is nothing, if you need any elaboration on this slide, please feel free, but I think these are something all of us are familiar with. Now, let us discuss each one of them a little bit more. For example, innovation. So there are several definitions for that, innovation, but what I am proposing is what is desirable to the user, what is possible with technology, and what is viable in the market. So only those innovations are going to move forward. Other innovations may have a very short life. So you need to think in those perspectives and then respond accordingly. And of course, you need to integrate your ideas, intelligence, to develop solutions, inspiration, creativity, reasons to catch. And then, quote from Einstein, several times we are thrusted upon in a particular situation and those same thought cannot take us out. So we need to have a different thought which will help us in taking it out. Now, when you are writing, you need to be very, very clear for what you are writing. So, if it is basic science, generation of knowledge is the purpose, then you should think in terms of writing papers in quality journal. Because if some support is given to you only for basic science, people are expecting you to publish in Q1, Q2 journals. On the other hand, if you are going to develop product or you are going to develop solutions to the society, then demonstration level projects are important. Okay, for example, suppose you are living very close to the river, there could be a flood-like situation, and if you are developing some solutions, how to prevent flood, how to live when flood is there, what are the effects after the flood which we must address. So these are something which require more of demonstration. So field level demonstrations are important. Of course you can publish, and you can publish in the lower journal also, your finding, your research, but people are more happy if you could take it to the society. And if you are developing a product for the market, then you need to be at technologically best. Because market will accept only those products which are cost effective, tax savvy, and user friendly. So you must orient, you must be very clear at the beginning why you are doing a particular research. Then another thing, we must use local resources, whether it is material, whether it is challenge, whether it is the human resource, so we must know what is available locally. For example, we are living in central Tamil Nadu. Now nobody from north or west will come to solve the problem of this region. People of this region have to find answers. Okay, so you can think in terms of national problem, international problem, but first think about it. Now, since you are a very young university, very appropriate, you make a contribution so that at least district administration or state administration realizes that if they need to go for help in such and such area, they need to come here. Okay, so that area could be something what should be appropriate, but we need to develop a niche. We need to make good utilization of available resources so that we can do it. So, based on local need, optimal utilization of resources and skills, traditional skills, implementation and interface with other institutions, and sustainable growth. So, these are some things which are very much required. Now, lot of prior work has to be done. So we have still not started writing, we are still in the thinking process, and this is something which is more. So we need to know what is the already published information in the field you are going to follow. That is very, very important. Second is, which is baseline data. Have we got it? Or we are going to get it. If you are borrowing it from some agency, make sure it is authentic and they are appropriately quoted. That we have taken this data from research. If you are going to create the baseline data yourself, make sure to make a statement how you are going to generate. This is something very good. Then, what are the experiments required to conduct the research group? Consent from head of the agency. See, very often we feel I am doing the project. It's not you. You are doing your project in an institution. Lot of other things are required, which institution is tacitly contributing. And when you are going out of your own institute to any funding agency, it's not only you are going, your institute is also going. Okay. So I wonder if you have got this practice. In several institutions, they have got a research advisory body. So where any new proposal has first to go there, so that they are looking at it and they can advise you what more improvements to be done, whether it meets funding agency goals, and whether it is most likely to come. So such body really is very helpful. And then what are the facilities available in your institution? Collaboration, as I said earlier. Earlier I said in terms of if you have got weaker publications, your private is not that strong in a particular area where you are going to do. But if you feel your subject, your objectives have got a wider reach, wider domain, you should go for collaboration from people of different disciplines. Now they may be in the same university or a different university, but idea is that our application should look as comprehensive as possible. Then tie up where in case you are not having those equipment, and especially for biology and medicines, there are several clearances, ethical clearances, biosafety, clinical studies. So those initial things you must have at least started. It should not happen, the project is awarded and after that you are losing time because of these clearances. So make sure that you are doing this. Now, this is a very, very philosophical statement. Aims are statement of intent. They are usually written in broad terms. They set what you hope to achieve at the end of the project. It's a very, very general statement. On the other hand, objectives are very specific and measurable. So we should understand the difference and we should be more focused on objectives. In fact, I would like to say we should have smart objectives. And when I say smart objective, I basically mean they are very, very specific. They are measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and time-bound. So if you could make your project objective smart, that will really help. So it defines what you are going to do, in what way, and how you are going to do. Peer review by ourselves. It is very important. You see, very often we feel, I have got an idea, I am excited enough. But then you should have a fairly good idea who are the other players in the field. As you know, in research, it is only a question who did first. Nobody bothers about who did second, third, fourth. So you should be excited enough, but that excitement should be coupled with your knowledge that who are the other players and how I am going to do better than them. What is the latest information already available in this field and how I am going to augment it further. What are the known responses? What is the latest update? Has the concept changed in recent time? Has somebody challenged it? Well, even today, you will find sometimes news headline, somebody challenged Einstein's theory of relativity. You can. But with good arguments, with good logic, how you are feeling it different. So, you need to eventually establish a gap area, the area where you are going to work, area where you are going to contribute. So you need to know, tell referees, this is my objective, this is the existing knowledge in this field, and this is where I find vacuum, where I am going to contribute. And then you start writing. Now, when we are writing, you need to be concise. Don't be superfluous. Write only what is required. Make a statement as if you are going to do or your team is going to do, rather than making a generalized statement. Own it. When you are owning it, it tells you a little more how you are going to do it. And there are certain advisories. Don't use jargons. Don't use very superfluous words. Don't assume that referees know everything about it. Because so many times I feel I have already published 5 papers. Now referee should know who am I. Please avoid that. Always start with a basic statement and defend it. Okay? And don't go into tutorials like undergrads. No. But believe that this is something which is known how we are going to do. Very often we say this information, page number this or annotation this. Don't do that. Explain things where it is required. Okay? So that they find it easy. Don't bypass anything, any process, and state the money what you need. And last statement is for no one itself. Don't waste your time if your field is outside the fund giver's goal. Because there will be schemes, they will be writing, this is the purpose, and if you feel you are not fit for that, so please be. And as we have been telling earlier, that you must be in a position to communicate. Because that is the most important. So what are the normal pitfalls which we have noticed? That people are too ambitious. They will promise you more. I will do this, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. No, it's not required. You should focus. Don't go more than 2 objectives. If you are beginner. Beginner, I mean, if you are doing first project, second project, third project. Beyond 3 projects, of course, you can take multiple objectives. But in the beginning, be very focused. You should know this is the end goal. Second is using generalities. Third is assuming readers or reviewers know your capabilities. Okay, because they will not know anything. They will just see your biodata time and again. Can you do it? Are you the right people to do it? So, make this shorter. And there should be no hidden cost. One of the common mistakes which we make is we submit proposal on the last day. Okay. Now this is to be avoided. For example, how you can save time, I'll tell you. If you have formulated an idea, make that idea, write the initial concept, and send it for your internal clearance. Okay. Internal clearance will take its own time. You need to go to your head, you need to go to the head of the college, maybe head of the university, somebody, registrar or someone in the university. There, it also takes time. The major problem with last minute submission is twofold. When will it get choked and you may not submit your proposal. So on last day, there is a huge pressure. In fact, when I was working with the DST, I realized if we have given 3 months deadline for a submission of project, on the 89th day and 90th day, we will receive 90% of the proposal. And then people would be crying foul. I would be receiving email. I was trying, your system did not accept. Okay, and it is a problem with the bandwidth. Because how many simultaneously utilize the same platform? So it is always good to submit it well on time. Second, if you have made the project earlier, you have a chance to read it second time, third time. Normally there is a saying, normally, if you have drafted something, do not touch it for 7 days, and when you touch it on 8th day, you will find there are so many things to be improved upon. Okay, give your eyes a break. If you will see it daily, then you won't find it. Okay, but if you leave it for some time and come back, read it again, you will find that several things will be improved. So if you are doing it at the last moment, you don't have that opportunity with you. So make sure you are doing it, submitting it on time. Second thing is that we should look for something, but we should always remain realistic. And the moment you make too ambitious a plan, which is unviable for whatever reason, then it influences your future projects. So make sure that you are doing it the right way. Now, it's a question, as I said, that if you are migrating, suppose you have published in one particular field, can you not jump to another area? Yes, you can. but that movement should be gradual. In case you are jumping, then go for collaboration. Collaboration with the worker in that area. And then, if you are doing it by yourself, then referees must feel confident that you can do it. So you should have some kind of a curiosity. Now you must understand how referee is being done, how review is being done. You know, most of the funding agencies do not take decision by themselves. They bank very heavily on recommendations made by your own peers. So people like you would be writing proposals, people like you would be referring it, and people like you would be reviewing. So we must understand that you are working in your own community. Okay. And one particular reviewer or one particular referee would be given n number of proposals. And when n number of proposals are given, they need to examine your proposal against others. So it is always easy if you are following the format, so that all proposals have been written with the roughly similar design, and your application is easy to read, and impact and significance should be easy. Now, one thing I tell you, if referees find your project worth, they become your advocate. They will tell the funding agency, this needs to be supported. This idea is brilliant. So, make them your advocate. Now, all said and done, it is the content which drives the project. So you should know what you are going to write, how you are addressing the goal of the grant giver. You need to provide justifications of everything, including budget, and you need to include various documents which have been asked for in the project. And if we talk in terms of language, you need to be very concise, you need to take time for revision, get feedback, that is very important. And here research body could help, but even before that, you can go to anybody whom you have confidence in. And then most important is maintain your individuality. When we are talking about approach, how you are going to approach that particular project, we are not looking how you are going to do various things. What we are looking for is what you are proposing. Is it logical? Is it feasible? Can you do it? Okay, so these are the questions you need to answer. And in case you feel you would be surveying some people, you would be training some people, so you need to put that format also. And you need to identify who is going to be the target beneficiaries. Look on the budget. Now, several times this becomes a concept. Funds based on what they are going to do, but on some other grounds. For example, I need to buy this equipment. So for that equipment, the fellow will develop a proposal and submit it. Purpose of buying it. Sometimes people will say, I have got 3 PhD students whose salary must be paid. So they will say, this project requires this. My only suggestion is, be realistic. We need to know what it actually takes and how much we are asking. No project is designed only on the budgetary cost. Okay. Because referees are still valuing your ideas. And if they find your budget on higher side, they will tell you. But it is always good that you are very clear why you are asking that kind of money. So what are the budget strategy? Ask for what you need to do work, justify a request, imagine what your project needs to make it a reality, follow your own institution guideline and also of the funding agency, try to collect quotation for equipment before quoting, and whenever you are in doubt, you ask. Because for each scheme there is a nodal officer identified by the funding agency. So you can always ask that fellow what you should do. And whenever you are in doubt, as I said earlier, that reviewer emphasize your questions more than your budget. So they will tell you that if it needs to be better. Drawing up a PERT chart is very important because you should know what are the various, first is you need to divide your projects into various milestones or various steps, what you are going to do. And then you need to define the sequence in which they would be done. So this will help you in terms of a monitor, the beginning, what you should do at the last, what you should do in between, how much time you need to allocate for a particular activity and those kind of things. A lot of misconduct these days is being reported. That needs to be avoided. So one is of course the rigorous taking up ideas from someone else's work. I think this is highly avoided, all four of them. Second is charges for work done. Now, sometimes what happens, we feel that we write a proposal, submit it to three agencies, and no agency will come to know. It's not right. Because funding agencies are talking to themselves. In fact, funding agencies are now thinking if they could have a single platform for project submission. Something like your bank ATM card. You remember the old days when you could draw money only from the branch where you had an account. Then you could draw money from your bank anywhere but within your own bank. Then the ATM system came. You could draw money from your ATM. Then there was a cartel of banks which came up so that you can take money. And today you can take money from any ATM. So same way, it is being considered if we could have only one platform for project submission. So that you could be given a choice. You will say, my project first needs to be considered scheme 1, then scheme 2, then scheme 3, then scheme 4. Whatever range you decide. But all your ideas would be captured. So what I am trying to say, if you are writing identical or nearly identical proposal, and suppose both of them are awarded at the same time, you should know what you are going to charge for. Don't put charge for same thing twice. Okay. Third thing is falsification. Don't assume the result because observation must be similar. Analysis may be different. And sometimes just to prove ourselves that, oh, I guessed it on the day 1. And okay, it will require some tweaking of ideas, some tweaking of data, some tweaking of the thing I can do. Please don't do this. In fact, some of our institutions have been blamed for it. So when we are going through quality publication and we find the thing, it's a matter of great shame. And don't fabricate. So don't create data by yourself. Now, once you have done with the project, the basic concept you have written, time comes of editing and proofreading. Of course, proofreading can be done by the software. So even MS Word can read it, and it can tell you what is required. But editing is something which you need to do because it speaks about your own style, how you are going to express. So clarity, logic, and organization of thoughts is something which you have. So your basic draft is there, and then you have to put these things. you have need to improve them. Do the SWOT analysis. No, for each time you have written, you must know where you stand. So what are the strengths of your project, what are the weaknesses of your project, what are the opportunities, and what are the possible threats. All of them you need to work. Mentoring makes a difference. Now, very often when we have read the proposal 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, we feel it is the best one. But when it goes to someone else, the other fellow may have a different opinion. It is always good to consult a fellow who has done many things. What it makes it to be successful. So you should discuss time and again and take help. Now, several times people have an issue, and that issue is of confidence. On whom I can confide if someone else will not steal my ideas. Okay. So you need to find a trusted colleague, or even your PhD student, I don't mind, or someone in your own system, or maybe outside your own system, but when it really helps, and they help you in giving feedback on your proposal and making it. Now, before you go for submission, make sure that you have met the deadlines, you have extra copies, supporting documents, and most importantly, whatever you are going to submit, retain a copy. Because these days, when there are a lot of online submissions, you could forget to take copies of what they have finally clicked on. So make sure that you are doing it, and then you submit. Of course, critical submissions are not accepted anymore, but there may be some institutions which still require either by email or on their portal, which you have to submit. And as I said, that if this portal you need to be extra cautious. Last day, it could be choked. So you need to make sure that if you are posting it, then of course you need to post it in time so that it reaches. Now, possibility is that your proposal may be accepted, and your second possibility is that it may not be accepted. Now, remember, we should not get disheartened. Why? Because maybe a group of people who read your ideas were not convinced, but if same idea goes to another set of people, they may get convinced. Maybe the purpose for which you had applied was not exactly fitting into your project object. Although you try to accommodate it, but then referees had better proposals. Now these days what is happening is most of the time we are living in an automated world. You will get a message saying a single liner why it was not accepted. If you are not convinced, if you are convinced, it's fine. If you are not convinced, you could ask detailed comments by the referees. Okay. Because if you want to improve upon your project, this is the best chance. Talk to concerned agencies, re-evaluate, revise, and recommit. And also look for other potential funders. There could be some other funding agencies which could support. So, with this, I would like to come to an end of this part. But I would be really happy if you are having some questions on any aspect of the project. Yeah, anyone please. Please be comfortable. briefly, you should write briefly what you are, how you are going to do it. So, just an idea what you are going to do. And second, state a statement, whether required facilities are with you or not. In case they are not, then where you are going to do it. So that is all they are looking for. They are not looking for your complete steps, but an idea only.
That they are asking in the 5-page we have to write other things and all 1 page, 2 page like
Okay.
Because it's 5 page, what they are expecting that I want.
No, if it is a 5-page, then you can probably write a little bit more about various steps. Like step 1 to doing this experiment and certain design and how you are going to do things. So you can elaborate it. Actually, this is a very important question that very often you will find that there will be some space limit. And you need to make good use of the limit. Suppose they are saying 1,000 words and you stop at 300 words and they feel that you have not put your heart out. And a major part of it is still empty. But on the other hand, they don't expect you to go to 1,500 or 2,000 words because they have said 1,000 word limit. So you need to make enough utilization of the given opportunity in a particular format.
More regarding budget.
Yeah.
Whatever you are told is that is right only. The first thing we want some instruments. For that also we will write. And one more thing in the budget. Most of the time we are writing a proposal. It's crossing the limit. They will mention 30 lakhs means it's crossing that limit. What the funding agency is expecting, whether we have to reduce the budget or because instrument is very important for us. Without that we cannot do that work at all.
No, that's right. But you should know if there is a financial limit prescribed by a funding agency, we must respect it. So we need to orient our project goals accordingly. So suppose 30 lakh is the limit and your instrument alone is costing, let us say 20 lakhs. Then you can't afford a student. Okay? Because you need to prioritize how I am going to do it. Sometimes when you are moving forward, you are going forward into the sample training becomes a little easier. But in the beginning, you need to respect all the tools within the project. Of course, that you need to do all the time, but it is a little difficult for you because you need to set up your laboratory.
Thank you.
These are very important. Suppose the chances are 1 or 2 in the project, fine. But as I said earlier, the referees would be reading many proposals on the same format. And if others have followed it and you have not followed it, so it will not be taken very positively. So it is important that we respect the limits in terms of space and other things, whatever it is. The ease of reading is very important.
So as a private university, sir, in case we are submitting the proposal for the funding agency, but under the referendum, in the referees are considering private university. Because in the portal itself, it shows that in the last criteria only the private university will be coming.
No,
This
no.
will be the central university.
There are universities which are not open to private, but they are very rare. Let us say less than 10%. 90% of them are open to private. So there is more weightage to the idea than to the place where you are present. And lastly, we are constantly monitoring ourselves. So we realize that bulk of the open grants goes to Indian national institutions. So we created a scheme called SURE, which is open only to state university and private universities. So private, if you see any of the results by any funding agency, you will find few private players who are there. But main problem with private players is in terms of their track record, both in terms of publication and stability. What happens in several of the private universities we have observed that people are jumping from institution 1 to institution 2 and their stability for completion of the project is not assured. Second, the publication record is not as strong because it has to be a competitive grant. So in a competitive grant, anyone who has a better track record has a better possibility as compared to the one who has got weaker publication or weaker record. So these two things go against, but then in terms of scheme, most of the schemes, 90% of the schemes are open to.
You have been offered for the proposals, whether it has been chosen based on the quality of paper or based on the, if you have been receiving more number of proposals, then what would be the choice? It is based on the quality evaluation or the institution, based on the institution, or
it is based on the ideas. Ideas. Institutions are the last one. Because what is the idea? That is the first condition. Who has given the idea? It is the institution. Where do you come from? Third. Okay. So idea is, if they don't like the idea, irrespective of where you come from, it doesn't. So idea has to be strong and well presented. Sometimes idea may be good, but not presented well.
Yeah, it will not be sometimes technical.
So we need to make a good case how we are presenting the idea.
Thank you.
No, what I was saying, your objective should be exciting enough. Now, when you are defining project objectives, you must establish why you need to work on that. What is the novelty? What is the value addition you are going to bring in? What is the application you are going to draw out of those objectives? What is the end goal? So if you could elaborate on those aspects, that really helps. Several times referees would just read objective and they feel, okay, it's not exciting. So they say, don't try to replicate things which have been done in some other system. So maybe in some other geography, some other system, or people feel that, okay, you are only replicating, then I'm not interested. But out of that replication, if you are asking a different question, people will be excited. So we need to frame questions in a way that we are required to make a novel contribution and there would be a definitive value addition.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting your voice very clearly. Can you come closer?
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Your presentation was very smooth, flowing, and very conclusive. Very thank you for your wonderful presentation. I have two questions. I am a mathematician by background, by degree. I have a background on engineering physics and some engineering arts. My stumbling block is when I want to write a project, sometimes I have difficulty in connecting how I am supposed to apply engineering mathematics to an engineering subject. For example, I have an interest in the fluid science, and I have also an interest in applying artificial intelligence in fluid science. And I have few tools in mind, but I do not know how to apply, how to write based on those tools, because I know only those tools. Could you give me some light on how can I write based on this problem? Thank you so much.
Mathematics is everywhere and nowhere. But then there are two schools you must explore. One is matrix program of ANRM, which is exclusively for mathematicians. So no other fellow will apply, only mathematician can apply matrix. And then there is National Board for Higher Mathematics, where you can think of. But beyond that, if you tie up with any subject professional, say biologist, chemist, physicist, you could develop programs where your knowledge is applied on their work. So these days, for example, AI for anything, okay, and calculations, those kind of things are done. So if you are looking for pure mathematics, matrix and National Board for Higher Mathematics, these are the two agencies. But if you are looking for application of mathematics, then there are a number of things.
If the project is accepted, the proposal is accepted, and we are going for presentation, before that the PA is eligible to or combined with the NGO. After that, we are going to presentation. In presentation, they are asking either you are combined with any collaboration industries or institutions, whether we can change our budget according to that, because the collaborations need budget for them.
Actually, this is very, please be confident. This is very important that who has submitted the proposal. If you have submitted the proposal, onus lies on you who are going to be your potential partners, who are going to be your potential stakeholders. You have full liberty to change a partner. You might have identified one, but if you feel that partner is not contributing the way you had expected, you can change. So no funding agency will ask you to or will intervene you in that process. Main thing what we are looking for is that if they are the end user, like you are doing a project for which they are the end user, so you must find an alternative end user. Okay, but that decision is yours as a PA.
Sir, after that, whether we can change the budget before going to presentation, is that possible, sir?
Okay, changing the budget is a little difficult question, because if you want to change it on the lower side, you will welcome it. But if you want to change it on the higher side, they will question you why you want to change. Now, in case there is some change in norms, for example, salary of students is changed, or for example, ticket prices have increased. Okay, it is different. But if you want to build on extra component of work which you had not envisioned earlier, then it is.
Good morning, sir. So I have a question for.
Yeah.
So I have a question. There are certain schemes which supports scholars pursuing their PhD. For example, Vice Kiran and Inspire schemes. So what do they expect? Like, if it is a faculty member who had already had their PhD, it is the track record and also the novelty of the idea.
We discuss these schemes now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So first I will discuss national schemes and international schemes.
Okay.
So for explaining in detail about key strategies involved in crafting women and proposals, we will now have a short tea break. Please feel free to enjoy refreshments and engage with one another. We will resume the session in 20 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I have divided my this talk into two parts. One, I will talk about funding, research funding, which is available to students. Mostly, I will be talking about science funding, but there are parallels from other, and we try to see how well we can make it. Subsequently, I will talk about opportunities which are available to us from other sources. So typically when we are talking about research support, we are talking in terms of human resources. So which is integral part of the research funding. And here we are not only talking about student support, we are also talking about networking. By networking, I mean that when you go for seminars, symposia, and you try to enlarge your network. So all those things comes under this, including training, including summer schools, and those kind of things are covered under this. Second is your own institution. Now this is something I won't discuss much because each institution has its own policy. I am sure your institution must be having a policy how research is going to be supported here and what kind of incentive they could give to you for doing research. Competitive research grant. Competitive research grant is something about which we are going to discuss. Now, as I said, these grants are open to everyone. And it's not that only good science proposal could be supported, but we need to compete. Like, it is something like a monthly salary. So you get a fixed amount and you need to apportion that, okay, for food, fruits and vegetables this much, for grocery this much, for clothing this much, for travel this much, for children education this much, house rent this much. Some of them become uncompromisable. For example, education fee. For example, your house rent. Some other are flexible to adjust. So same way, when competitive grants are available, for each grant, funding agency would identify an amount. And within that amount, they can accommodate 10 projects, 12 projects, 100 projects. They will not go beyond that. And you need to be in first that much. Suppose if they are supporting 100 projects, so you need to be in top 100. So what I am trying to say, it's not good science alone, but it is the spirit of competition which is prevailing, and you need to be in first few to get it. And then there are fellowships and grants. So a lot of them are there. This I think we discussed, we can speak. Now there are a lot of scientific departments in the central government, And each one of them is giving grants. Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, they are giving unconditional grants. Indian Council for Medical Research, now known as Department of Health Research, they are giving two kinds of grants, one for their own institution and one for everyone. Some other institutions like CSIR, DRDO, they will insist upon participation of their scientists in the research project. Whereas Department of Space, Department of Atomic Energy, they may not give project, they may give you task. You do this thing and get this thing. So this is broadly just to help you, and then we have got Ministry of Education, where also we have Council for Agriculture Research, Renewable Energy, Environment and Forest. So number of scientific departments in the central government are supporting research. DST, DPT, MIT and Ministry of Earth Sciences, they are giving extramural research grant in a big way. Other departments are giving research grants, but not in that way. Okay? But they are giving. Now, what we are going to discuss is about the opportunities. So, these opportunities are for the national. And then these are overseas opportunities, and then there are some project opportunities. So we can discuss each one of them. So first is, as an independent researcher, you get fellowships, you get exposure visits, you get short opportunities and research grants, individual. Then as an institution also you could apply. So I think this I need not to explain. Each one of you knows JRF, SRF, RA, so that is fine. Only thing here I would like to say is about net qualification. So you should not feel net qualification means only those who have qualified UGC, CSIR or NTNet. Any national level examination at master level, if the fellow has cleared. So there are a number of agencies which are conducting such examination. Our identification of national examination is any candidate from any part of the country to participate, and it is multi-centric, so that people find it easy. So that is considered national examination. Prime Minister Fellowship. Now this is something very interesting, especially for the doctoral student. So if you are taking a doctoral student with you, and you are encouraging this person to do research of relevance to the industry. So what happens that we are taking research ideas, which is normally a one-page, two-page document, and we are circulating into Confederation of Indian Industries, CII. CII will in turn circulate it to its member companies, and 100 best ideas every year are selected. And those who are selected, they are getting this fellowship called Prime Minister's Fellowship. Here, it is double. So if the candidate is JRF, he gets double JRF. If the candidate is SRF, double SRF. RA, double RA. One part by the government or the funding agency, whatever test the fellow has qualified, and one part by the industry. You must not, there are several schemes by this name. IIT runs another scheme by the same name, right? Don't get confused. This is something which is open to this institution. Then National Postdoctoral Fellowship. Now, this is something very important. Here, idea is that after doing PhD, if fellow is not getting job, fellow should consider developing himself or herself as an independent researcher. And one thing, as I said in the morning when I was talking, PhD is a journey where you learn to frame questions and where you know how to approach a question. So when you are going on a PDF assignment, it should not be an extension of the PhD. It should be a different question altogether. You can use all the skills what you have learned during your PhD, but question should be different. So many people make a mistake that they just, whatever they have done in PhD, they continue, that is the entire word, I should continue. Please make a correction, the change is required. And then there are salary and other things. Startup Nidhi grants. So many of you, especially the engineering students, several times they have an idea which they feel is good to try into the market. So there are some seed funding available to students who would like to try their ideas. Several of us have a flair of writing, expressing, making short videos or short audios to explain things. And we wish that people of this country who are our primary funder of research should know more about what is being done in research. So this program, although it is addressed to PhD and postdoctoral candidates, but the idea is that they should convey what research they are doing in common man language. So the moment they speak a common person's language, it becomes easier. And they feel more confident on themselves, what they are doing. They know it much better. So if they are only writing scientific words, they are still mucking up or behaving like a robot with their mentor or guide. But when they are writing it in common personal language, they are really expressing themselves what they are doing. This program is very, very special. And it is for organizations like you, where even Vice Chancellor mentioned that you have shortage of infrastructure and more infrastructure will take some time to come. So this program is addressed to faculty of institutions like yours who have research question in mind but do not have research infrastructure to work on those questions. So what we have done, we have developed this program where you can get attached to a central institution of your choice where required infrastructure is available. So you could go work. And this comes with a research grant. Now here I would, this program, not this program, similar programs are also available from Indian National Science Academy. And there it is named Visiting Scientist. They are only giving you mobility but not research grant. Here there is some research grant also, 5 lakh rupees, but their research grant is not. So what I am trying to tell you, if you are working on questions where infrastructure support is required, not available with your institution, use one of these two programs. So, of course, you can continue with your employer. The 60,000 rupees is primarily for your travel and relocation, but main attraction here is grant. In Visiting Scientist program of INSA, you get only travel support. Now, for your doctoral student also, there is a program which is called Summer Fellowship by Science Academy. So, summer fellowships comes exclusive for 2 months and by 3 scientists 3 Science Academy it comes, and your student could avail. They could also. There is one more possibility which you must explore. There are several inter-university consortia created by UGC for dedicated facilities. So these are in different cities and for different purposes. Like Delhi have accelerator center, Indore has UGC area, that's something. And then Pune has astrophysics. So you need to identify that 12 such sectors. You need to identify which one is more appropriate for your needs. You could write to them, book your time and conduct your experiments. Then Inspire. So this is another program which provides you a 5-year term. Of course, it is there also at, it starts from school level. In university, it is at bachelor level and master level, where it is given on the basis of your scores, your mark sheet. If you are the university topper, then you could get it. But at faculty level, when it comes, it is primarily your performance in doctoral program and your new research idea. So, Inspire Faculty Awards, I was lucky that we met one of the Inspire awardees. He can tell you more about this award, but basically they are looking for what is your research idea. There are few fellowships. One is Ramanujam Fellowship. This is primarily to those young postdocs who are currently abroad. So I request university to keep monitoring who are the fellows who are willing to return. So you could invite them on these fellowships. And there is one more fellowship by the name Ramalinga Swami Fellowship, which is for bio. So this fellowship is open across the area, but Ramalinga Swami is for bio. So whether it is agriculture, medicine, all aspects of biosciences are covered under that. Then we have got J.C. Bose National Fellowship. This is a premier fellowship for people who have advanced in a particular domain and who have created a name for themselves. People, 10 workers in an area, so you are one of them, something like that. So it comes with personal money of 25,000 rupees per month. So normally fellowships, if you are employed, doesn't pay you, but this is what which is coming along with that, plus research. And then, as an independent researchers, what are the grants you can look for? So one is early career. Can I ask you, how many of you have joined the organization in regular capacity on first job in last 2 years? Just raise your hand. Good. And can I ask when did you join? September 20. In other terms? October. Of? Okay. So you are eligible. Anybody who have joined after February 2023 is eligible next year for this call. This year call is already closed. And this year it was till February 2022. Okay. So you should start preparing right now for this next year. This is one of the easy grants which you get very quickly. And quickly means about 4 to 5 months. And in all areas, in all STEM areas. And they provide you up to 60 lakhs. No, this is also a major revision. Earlier there was a limit of 30 lakhs, but now they have revised it to 60 lakhs.
This already we applied.
This year, very good, all the best.
Sir, how it will be, whether they are considering from this institute we joined or from the first
No, first job.
First job.
first regular job, not as a temporary assignment ad hoc, first regular job, and if you are less than 42 years old. Okay, so this is something. So this year this call just got closed, I think last month. So next year it will again come and you should start. Now those who do not qualify for early career research grant, they are eligible for regular grant. And as we discussed in the morning, these are some of the critical points like objective, work plan, your own capabilities, where are you working, the kind of support you are looking for. So this is something common, we discussed it in the morning. Main thing here, whenever you are writing project, except for early career, you should think of associating a student. That is very important. That is how you can carry it forward. And then we did an assessment and we realized that most of the core research grant, most of the early career grant, they are going to fellows belonging to pre-med institutions. So we excluded them. So this particular scheme, you are competing with your own peers in state university which are in a more difficult situation than yours and private universities. So I would say it's a golden ticket. So you should look for this thing, and I think about 400 research grants are available each year.
Sir, this grant previously it was in the SER.
Yeah.
Now
ANR.
So whether we submitted it in that time, but whether that was evaluated or
No, when did you submit?
in December 23.
So that would be assessed. See, ANRF would honor all SARB commitments. So that is not a question. Yeah.
It was transferred to ANR.
Yeah.
It
So
was
they,
showing submitted.
so they would be considered. Now, there are grants which is called industry inclusivity research grant. And here we are targeting weaker section of the society. And this call, I think, is about to close or closed recently. So anyway, so those who are eligible, and I think administration will also look into that, they must submit. This is one such program where success rate is 60 to 70%. No, when we are talking about CRG, core research grant or early career research grant or even the state university research exposure, success rate is less than 20%. Here, in this particular case, success rate is more than 60%. So anyone who is eligible must look for and apply. Now those of you who are working on high TR and they feel that their research should be taken by industry, they have found a partner, so they would go for this award. Idea is, once you have done your lab level research, you have demonstrated the lab, it passes through a very difficult test, what we say, valley of death. So many of the ideas, many of the research ideas, when we are going to take it to the market, it needs to pass through valley of death, and if they survive, they go to the market. Otherwise, they may just die out there. So this grant is for that purpose. Department of Biotechnology has done a tie-up with Tata Innovation Fund, and they are providing similar support for the translation research in biotechnology, and they are also offering private personal money. So, like earlier I mentioned that was from ANRF, this is from DPT. So this is another grant for translation research which you can do. And then ANRF has also tied up with select industry. Now industry comes to ANRF and they say that this is the problem statement. And then ANRF would invite proposal where funding on 50-50%, the 50% by ANRF, 50% by industry would be provided. So when you are preparing such thing, so they call the program, I don't know the full name, they call it FIRE. Facilitating Industrial Research Exposure, if I am correct. Idea is company will come, they will make it a problem statement and then they will provide the research fund. So if you do your research to meet the targets given by the industry, you could fund. Here there is a ceiling of up to 50 lakh rupees per project from the government and remaining 50 lakh to the industry. Or industry may give more. Now for those who have completed their normal inning and they would like to work for science, there is a possibility of national science chair. So maybe university could consider inviting some senior colleagues on such chair and that will help younger colleagues to grow up and guide them how they could go for those things. Each year, government identifies an area of high priority. This year they have identified electric vehicle. The call I think is just over. One need to apply for those if it is in your domain. Each year it will be different. And depending upon the needs, for example, in COVID times, it was COVID. Now we are in peace time, so each year it is different. This was electric vehicle. We are also supporting disruptive science. So if you have got an out-of-box idea, and you feel, your gut feeling is that it is doable, you could apply here. You could succeed, you may not succeed. But as long as your approach is sincere, we are supporting. This is a program to attract best of the global faculty. They could come here for a period of 5 years. Each year they may spend 1 month or so, and remaining time they could be in their parent institution. Idea is they could come here as adjunct faculty, and they could deliver talks, they could take research program, they could start a new research thing. There is one more program called Valedictory, which is open to researchers of Indian diaspora. So that's the difference. Vajra is open to all foreign nationals who are leaders in their own research. Vaibhav is open to Indian diaspora abroad who are leading in their own research. And under both the programs, you could invite. And then gender-based science. There are a lot of gender-based programs which are there. One, I think you were asking about Kiran. So Kiran, basic program is that there are a lot of female researchers who, for a variety of reasons, mainly family responsibility, but some other reasons also, they go out of science. And when they want to come back, science being very dynamic, they cannot compete with regular researchers. So this program is primarily designed to bring them back. And here we are looking for minimum break of 3 years. So there are 3 programs. One is Women Scientist A. If you are planning to work in sciences, basic sciences or applied sciences, program Women Scientist B where you would like to work for the society, how science could influence their social living, or how science can improve their income, or any other society that you want to pick. And third is, if you would like to become a professional. So for example, we have started a new program for young ladies to help them grow as professional for intellectual property. So here currently our people do not understand implication for IP is one of the new field, but IP is just one. If you want to become any professional, so as an organization you may consider doing a course for them so that they become professional by themselves. So right now one such call for IP professional is open, and if any of the young ladies with some career break is interested, would apply. Now for those ladies who do not have career break and who would like to grow up as an individual researcher, this is a program called Power Grant. So it comes in two forms, Power Grant or Power Fellowship. If you are an established worker, you go for Power Grant. If you are a new worker, go for Power Fellowship. And basically the idea is to increase number of female researchers in this country. This Power Grant also comes with two other components. One is foreign exposure. So if you are awardee of a Power Grant, you could plan one trip of up to 1 month anywhere in the world as a part of the academic activity, not for pleasure, as part of academic. And if you are doing translative research, you could attend an interpretive program anywhere in the world. So this comes with two other components. Now on the same line, Department of Biotechnology has come up with BioCare. I'm not sure if I have a slide for that. So Department of Biotechnology has come with BioCare. CSIR has come with Aspire. So all these programs are targeted to increase number of women researchers as an independent PI. So you could consider applying. So you are eligible over there in general program which are open for everyone, and then these are the programs where you could apply. If any women researchers get elected to National Academy, it could be Science Academy, Engineering Academy, Agriculture Academy, Medical Academy, any of the National Academy, then she could get this award, which is primarily a research grant without writing a proposal. Okay, so you could get the award. Then whatever I had mentioned, they were open. Open means any area, any research area you feel appropriate. But these are the areas where government would like you to do research. So if I talk about success rate, in open program, success rate range between 10 to 20%. Here success rate range from 25 to 30 or maybe 40%. So every third proposal or every 2 out of 5 proposals would be supported. So these are priorities identified by Department of Science and Technology. And you will see a huge range of subjects which they are trying to cover. On the other hand, Department of Biotechnology is consisting more on diagnostic, therapeutic and assistive technology. They are also interested in cancer, rare genetic disorders, translative research in human genes, biosafety, Ministry of Earth Science has also identified certain. So these areas, if they match your interest, here success rate is little better as compared to open course. Of course, I must tell you, we receive largest number of course in the open area. Nearly 60% of the research grant goes to 3 programs. Core research grant, sure, and early career research. 60%. But still these are the openings you must explore how it would. Then there are a lot of programs on science communication. So a lot of efforts have been made how science could be communicated to the masses. You know, we have a very unique challenge in our country. Most of the time, schooling until 12th is done in the local language. But when it comes to higher studies, especially science, engineering, medicine, then one must know English. If you don't know English, you can't go for it. So now, a lot of thought process is going on. Why not our higher education be in the language which is being spoken by people of a given region? But it requires a marathon effort. In the meanwhile, government is giving incentives if you could do something for your own people. So a lot of support for science communication is available. Biotechnology department, they are also giving support, but they are focusing more on rural people. So how your science can influence increasing their income? That is their main target. So how it could be done and how we could help them creating a platform for livelihood, self-employment generation and entrepreneurial activity. If it could be done, they are ready to support. Now coming to the institutional grant. So these were individual grants. Now we are talking about institutions. So what is fair? I think this is right now open, but open only to select category of institutions. So what we have done, based on NIRF ranking, we have said that top 500 institutions are the mentor institutions and top 200 institutions are mentees. But idea is eventually to take it to second tier and third tier institutions, because it is an idea for hand-holding. It is an idea to promote research culture. So we are right now inviting in stage 1, this is a program just newly launched. But the idea is that very soon we should be approaching all institutions in this country and give them hand-holding for research. Then there are programs at department level. So here we are expecting each department, which has both UG and PG teaching and research, they should develop their research program for next 5 years and see what kind of equipment support would be required. Of course, civilian space like building, etc. has to be provided by your institution, plus some contribution for the equipment. I think currently the ratio is 80-20, 80% by the government, 20% by the private institution. And then you could get it. And the grant size is in several steps. It starts with basic grant of 1.5 crores, goes up to 20 crores. But after getting one award, you need to wait, because we would like to see how you are sustaining. If you are maintaining, then you are eligible for next level. Then GPT is also giving a program called STAR College Program. And here the idea is that students, even at undergraduate level, should be given more on the job, on the hand training of various processes, practices. So they are given startup. And then each university, each academic institution should have incubation facility within its own. And several departments of the government are encouraging. DST, DBT, DPIIT, skill development, lot of agencies are supporting. So idea is that you should encourage your student to go for startup, and such facility would help them guide, because the student will come only with their idea, the passion. But what are the regulatory requirements? What is the market? How to approach market? That is something they require some kind of mentoring. So this center could play such a role. DBT for the same purpose has established biotechnology parks. So these parks are in different parts of the country, and students could go and try out their ideas. Now coming to international programs, these are from Government of India. So we will discuss later second part. But with a large number of countries we have got agreements, and these agreements we are inviting proposals from time to time. You could apply. And not only countries but also organizations. So there are several platforms on which you could submit proposals. My sincere advice is don't wait for the proposal for any of them. Keep the scheme in mind and develop your proposal, and once the call opens, call would be open only for a month. That is not the right time to start. You should start well in advance. There is support available for participation in international conferences, seminars, symposia abroad. So this is from number of agencies, the support is available. This support is available once in 3 years, and it is not total. For example, mostly for the faculty, it is only travel support. For a student, it is travel plus registration. Then there are other overseas exposure like Lindau meeting, so meeting with Nobel scientists. So it is cyclic in order: 1 year physics, 1 year chemistry, 1 year biology and medicine. Asian Science Camp, meeting with Asian Science. I'm sorry, because I'm running out of time, I have been told. A number of bilateral programs, as I showed you the list, with so many countries, so a student would have a possibility of participation. Number of fellowships available to doctoral and postdoctoral faculty. And this program, SIRE, this is available to mid-career researchers like you. So you could go for 2 to 6 months abroad under this program. So this is for industry exposure, women researchers, NO and paid fellowship. So a lot of fellowships are available. Then other programs of interactions are like BRICS Young Scientist Meeting. So each year BRICS presidency would announce the theme, and then students would be invited. Most of the time we are taking master, doctoral, postdoctoral and very young faculty. Frontier of science and frontier of engineering are very, very unique concept. Here we are asking them to discuss interdisciplinary topic. So for example, frontier of science, we will invite physicists, chemists, biologists, mathematicians, geologists, and then they would be discussing what they can do together. I think other I have already mentioned. This we will discuss a little later. We have also done mapping, like if you name an area which country is good at, so that mapping has been done. And these are some of the examples of international collaborations which we have discussed. So with this, I would like to close first part, and now I will come on those opportunities which are given to us by overseas agencies. In between, when I am shifting, if you have any questions, quick questions, we could take it. Yes, please.
but I am interested to applying health science.
Applying
Health science.
health science, okay?
So that kind of, how is the evaluation?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
So actually, I am a chemist, but I am involved in some research on health science. So the area, broad area we are selecting for is the application to health science. So whether we have to be in life science or chemistry can apply.
No, it would be appropriate if they have a fellow working in health domain also. You see, what happens, as I discussed a little ago on the COVID example, or developing a medicine. So you may be working as a chemist, but a biologist or a health worker must understand the system. They are the end user. So it would be appropriate to have one such fellow. Okay, so in interest of time, we'll continue, or maybe we can take questions together later. Okay, so this is another presentation. International cooperation means different for different persons. In fact, student it is different, faculty it is different, institution or nation it is much different. So we just have a broad perspective. Then we'll discuss. A student, I feel, overseas exposure is very, very important because it gives them an opportunity to learn in a different system. When they learn, go out and learn, it brings them joy. It brings them a different feeling, how things are done differently. It brings them a feeling of ethics, how they are important. But main question is getting an admission. And admission is difficult. It depends upon where are you making entry. If you are making entry at master level or what they call graduate level or PhD level, then there are prescribed tests you need to take like GATE, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT. There are several examinations. And you need to have particular score before any university could consider it. But if you are a postdoctoral candidate or if you are a faculty and you are looking, main thing is you are writing your research ideas. And 90 times out of 100 people have said that they do not get a response back. So my simple question to them is, how many of you have got Gmail account? How many of the mails in your Gmail you even do not open? It's same thing over there. So your idea needs to be constructive. You need not to say, I am looking for postdoctoral opportunity and I have done such and such, but nobody is interested in the work except you. I tell you very honestly. People are interested how you are going to contribute to their work. So, whenever you or your students are applying for any postdoc abroad, ask them where are they applying. Have they read sufficiently about that group? So these days there are several platforms, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, or say, which can give you entire biography of an individual. And you could know what are the areas they are working. So now you should make a research statement in a way that this is your strength, this is my strength, together we can do this. You need to market yourself. So this is something very important. Second question is of the money. Because sometimes you may be lucky if your family, friends, or you yourself could afford such cost. But very often, people are looking for external support. External support could be in terms of loan from several agencies or through a fellowship. So when you are writing a proposal, you should make a mention that I am writing on such and such thing. We would like to do it together, subject to I getting selected for this method. Now this gives them confidence. Confidence in terms, because it should not happen any faculty anywhere, including one in India. You write to a professor in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, anywhere. They are not concerned only about your research profile. Where will you stay? How will you get into? So, like, if you are applying abroad, how will you get visa? How, those questions will keep coming. They don't want to get bothered by it. Okay? So, it is always easy if you make them clear how we are approaching to reach them. The moment you say, sir, give me money also for it, then they will become not interested. Okay? Only if your idea is too compelling, then they will consider giving you grant. Or if they have advertised the video. That is another way. Now, here, role of this referral is very important. Referral is normally given by your teacher or under whom you have worked, and because mark sheet doesn't say everything. Some universities are very liberal in giving marks, some universities are too conservative. So basically they go by the referral letter. When it comes to faculty, faculty is looking for a project. Project could be 3-year duration, 5-year duration, where you are expecting that some part of the project would be done by you, some other part would be done by your collaborator, and mostly you would be in the state of policy formulation, guidelines, how it would be done, and your students would be participating. So this is something you need to keep in mind. When we are looking at institutional level is much bigger. They are looking for what could be done with a particular institution. It could be only student exchange, it could be faculty exchange, it could be sharing of grades, it could be double degree or dual degree, what we call. It could be that one semester is done in another lab, and there is a possibility of both ways receiving the student, from here to there, there to here. So all those possibilities are there. Why you need to collaborate? I think we discussed it in the morning. If you would like to have an idea, better idea, talk to a fellow from different background, and then you get different perspectives. That is how you work. So this is not for intellectual collaboration, any collaboration. And then what collaboration means? That it is leading to breakthroughs, because when you are doing interdisciplinary research, you are targeting big, and you go for this, and for the funding, it could be fun when things goes right, and collaboration also brings a lot of travel, communication, shipping of materials. Why collaborate? There should be some reasons. So one is bottoms up or individual driven, like you would like to draw collaboration. So this is seeking complementary knowledge. So whenever as a part of intellectual collaboration you are looking for this. Second is shared responsibility. You can divide project goals between 1, 2, 3. Okay, you won't get to this, I'll be doing this, like increase exposure and gain access. So several times if a facility is not with you, you can go to your collaborator and work. Even in India, suppose you want to access a facility which is not there in your institution. So you will enter into a kind of agreement. Okay, you need to authorize the paper. Okay, these are easy way of getting access. So skill development is another. Your students would be better exposed through that process. On the other hand, institution or funding agency may ask you to do collaboration, and there they are looking for certain benefits. It could be research benefit or business benefit Sometimes for the reason of diplomacy, we are doing. And sometimes you are just pushed into that you have to do research, collaboration with fellow one or fellow. See this picture very carefully. Whenever you are in collaboration, you need not to share everything. You need to share only something which is mutually agreed. So there, in other language we say that there is some background IP and foreground IP. So foreground IP need to be shared, background IP are yours. You need to retain. So collaboration always is not easy. It has certain issues, and these issues you need to understand before you start, so that you can address it, converse with your partner, and develop more meaningful activity. So one of the issue is like who will take the credits and who will take the responsibility. So since it's a collaborative project, one of you, either both are equal or one is a lead. You need to take a call between yourselves. Second is, there are people who have some excuse. Oh, I am willing to do it, but my institution is not published. I am willing, but I have a problem. So you should know. No, when you are agreeing for a collaboration, you know what is required. And one should take all required permissions before it, not after taking, not after initiating, but when you are developing a collaboration. Disagreement when to publish. Somebody doesn't want to publish till late. Somebody wants to publish it too early. The moment you get some exciting thing, publish it. It doesn't matter which journal it goes or what impact it has, but then it should get published. And sometimes things are slow because everybody is not working at our speed. Some people could be fast, some people could be slow. So that may put our collaboration into a bit difficult situation. So we need to understand how people are doing, and then standards improve, like perfectionism. Different people are looking different things, different expectations. So those benchmarks need to be set in. And then different research style, culture, that also need to be. So these are the questions you must address when you are developing collaboration. What makes collaboration work? If you have a very clear focus, what you are doing, why you are doing it, and who is the in charge. Suppose you are equal, then who takes what decision? And if someone is lead, then there is no question. Then the lead will take questions. Then impact of size and logistics, we should see cost of active participation. And then communication is key thing that makes work. So of course these days communication is easy. You have email, you have video calls. So set up periodicity. After this you must have it. And then some changes if required, then who will make those changes and who will write paper. You know, this is something very interesting. In a group, somebody has a flair of writing, fellow group writer. But ownership belongs to all of us. All those who have contributed. Similarly, PPT. Somebody are very good at making PPT. But it doesn't mean only that fellow would make it. Each one of you, each one in a group should make such presentation. How authorship would be assigned? That is another question one need to work. And then how IP would be handled and who will preserve the data. Now repository is very important. Once your project is over, who will keep it for future references? Your institution is also involved. See if it requires material transfer agreement, IP agreement, and budgetary compliances or any other compliances. So that also needs to be taken care of. And then you should ensure there is no conflict of interest. And then you must know where to close. In collaboration cannot be perennial. Even though you continue to work with same group, But then, after a fixed period, question must change, project must change. Each project must have its natural closing first. So, you should know if we have achieved this thing, then this collaboration ends and new collaboration starts. If you are working with industry, so one of the common problems is when to publish. Because the industry would like to have a monopoly, whatever new product has been generated, so that you can take into advantage. And of course, countries, there could be some country prohibition. When you are going for international cooperation, same thing, but security and sensitivity is the additional requirement which you must take into care. And then restrictions may come with particular country on safety, difficulty with shipping, guidelines on security. Now, those of you who are going first time abroad, there could be some challenges like cultural differences. Second, student must be briefed what to share and what not to share. Because students get excited when they ask what is happening else, what is happening. They should remain confined to the project for which they have been recruited, they are part of, not everything else. And then, of course, there are guidelines which you need to respect. In the end, any collaboration must result into a win-win situation. Now, what we are looking at international cooperation is, first is value addition. So, you must be something in your own field and not just like flat. So you should have an identity in that particular field, then only you can bring value addition. You could have global competitiveness, like if you need to develop a product which must come into the market. So international cooperation could help you in that way. Addressing global challenges, access to mega science projects, developing ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship, technology development, innovation model, and of course creation of world-class facility or center. So this is what we are aiming for through international collaboration. And it is done at various levels, like bilateral, one government to another government. Then regional or multilateral platforms are there. So particular group is there, and with whom we are doing. We are also members of several bodies, and we are also going to several facilities. We have three basic rules. One is synergy. Here, what we are looking for is that when we are working with developed countries, we are planning, we are thinking to be equal partners. So both sides make contribution. Contribution means financial and intellectual. And whatever comes out, paper, patents, or any IP, that would be jointly co-owned. When we are talking about diplomacy, we are trying to help countries which requires us support. For example, country in Asia, country in Africa. We are more in the form of giving. And then we have got technology development. Here we are product-related research driven by industry and supported by academia. And there are several tools for international cooperation. One is networking. So it comes in the form of workshop, education, fellowship, exploratory debate, project support, R&D clusters, and pre-commercial research. So several forms of support is available. For capacity building, fellowships, seminars, training, summer and winter school. So several options are there, and even creation of virtual centers. Here, in all these things, what is more important is your research plan. When you are going for networking, so they are looking how you are going to execute, what are the connects to the society or to the industry, and what is the reference set by mentors, publication records, and other support. Now, coming to some of the fellowships from overseas agencies. So this is Fulbright Fellowship for doctoral program. And since all of you are having research student, I would encourage you to ask your students to look for these programs. So during PhD for 6 to 9 months, one could compete to go to US. And they have given large number of subjects. Of course, I have retained only science subject, but they are also offering it to humanities, social sciences, law, management. So one could think on any of these areas, and your support, etc. is taken care of. They are also offering similar fellowship for fellows working on climate. Now, once again, you should not feel climate is only meteorological terms. And climate justice, climate resilience, large number of subjects are being covered. Whatever is being influenced by the climate. Now, this is an upcoming area. Climate change, people are not talking, is a reality, and it is influencing variety of things, including agriculture, including our lifestyle, including our food products. So this is a huge focus for US. There are companies which are also supporting PhD. So when companies are supporting, they are supporting only in their area of operation. So I have just taken one example, but if you say, for example, Asian Paint. Asian Paint would support PhD in paint technology or chemical technology, those kind of stuff. So there are companies which are coming forward, and with the advent of ANRL, you will find more and more companies coming on such platforms, encouraging research in their domain. This is a fellowship for those at postdoctoral levels, those who have already got PhD and they would like to go to Japan. So a scholarship will be provided and it takes care of your expenses to do it. Only thing is they are looking that you should not have studied in Japan. Okay. And that is the only requirement, and your PhD and other things will be taken care of. Germany offers a wonderful PDF where you are supposed to work in 3 countries, your home country, one neutral country, and Germany. So between neutral country and Germany, you need to spend 18 months. Very lucrative fellowship they are offering, and it's a 12 months, 18 months, 12 months in third country, and 6 months in Germany. US also offers postdoctoral opportunities. So it is for 2 years, one could go. Again, what I have mentioned, this is all areas, including medicine, humanities, social sciences, engineering, all areas are covered. Then for mathematics, this is the European Fellowship as a postdoctoral. So those of you who are working in mathematics could go for this fellowship. Then there are programs of which India is member. So one of these programs is Human Frontier Science. Now when we think about human frontier, we think about biology. But it's not only about biology. If you see here, they are having cross-disciplinary fellowship also. They are having fellowship for biology, but cross-disciplinary fellowship for non-biological subjects. So any subject which has impact on human being would be considered for such fellowship. Marie Curie Fellowship is a prime fellowship going to Europe. And I hope everybody knows Marie Curie as a Nobel laureate. But one of the most competitive programs for PDF up to 2 years in Europe, one could apply for this thing. I think right now this call is open. Even country like Saudi Arabia, they offer postdoctoral assignment, which is not only long, but also quite decent. $40,000 per year they are providing. So very handsome, but they are restricted in terms of areas. Only area of their interest they are looking for such you have a possibility to increase your networking. So with German researchers, you could go and have this workshop either in India or in their place. What Germany is looking for is more of a translative research. So, as you know, Germany is known for engineering. They are looking that if you would like to discuss something which you would feel more to take to industry, they would welcome you to such workshops. Mobility grant to France. So there are centers which offer mobility grant. You could go there for a limited period and stay there. That's the grant. Now, there are several entrepreneurship programs. I've just listed one of them, just to give you an idea that if people who would like to learn more on entrepreneurship in different countries, they could join such programs. And companies would also run research challenges. So this is another, just one example that how international company would run competitions and a research group could address one of their challenge, what they do. And then again there are arts and theatre-based programs, even internationally. So Women of the South is a program where you could get the support to go to United Kingdom. There is an Edge Fellowship from the United Kingdom, more on entrepreneurship, how you could take it forward. This I think we have discussed already, these fellowships. Now some of the fellowship I missed is Humboldt. Humboldt is from Germany. One of the most prestigious fellowships which is there at postdoctoral level at faculty level. And there is a saying that once you are a Humboldtian for life, you are a Humboldtian. Which means that every third year they will invite you for pretext of 1 or 2 and you remain connected with Germany. Newton Fellowship comes from United Kingdom. And these fellowships are at doctoral level, postdoctoral level and faculty level. Erasmus Fellowship comes from European Union and these are also reasonably good. Several countries through their embassy like Australia, Japan, Korea, Hungary, Poland, Brazil, they also offer fellowship at postdoctoral level, which could be available. And then some of the Indian agencies like UGC, Education, DPG, DSP, Earth Science, ICMR, ICR, they are also offering fellowships. Sir, I think we discussed earlier when I was making a presentation from Government of India. Sir is one such example. Just to give you an idea how international collaboration look like. So I have just picked 2 or 3 examples. One is in Australia. It is in form of joint R&D project and grant challenge. So each year themes would be identified by the 2 governments. With UK it is multi-centric. Several agencies are participating and with each one of them we have programs. In fact, UPRI is a bigger organization with several councils. So, with most of the councils we have collaborative program and UPRI also has an office in India. You can always discuss with them about various possibilities. Then, recently you might have heard about ISET. This is initiative in critical and emerging technology. And several areas have been identified, which includes AI research, defense technology, innovation ecosystem, semiconductors, biotechnology, human space flight, and communication. This is with United States. Just to give you how bilateral programs look like. And of course, not only we are sending our students, we are also receiving. So as an institution, we consider receiving students also. So we are offering from our neighboring country, ASEAN region, Africa region, France, Korea, UK, Japan, and Bebab, as I mentioned in the earlier part, they are attract best of the global faculty. So with this, I would like to close, and I would like to discuss more now in a informal way. If you have some queries. Thank you.
Now I request the participants to ask their valuable questions.
Sir, thank you for your nice presentation. I have only one question. Can you please tell us some of the schemes which are specifically available for grant schemes under commerce and management? Thank you.
It's a difficult question for me because I have worked in the Department of Science and Technology. But if you look for Indian Council for Social Science Research, they do provide some support in the area of management. And also, there is a body called AIMA, which is providing. I'm not sure about the research commerce, but maybe UGC could be. There are major grants, minor grants from UGC which you could explore. But I'm really sorry, I can only give you just ideas, not specific examples.
Sir, can we write a proposal to the ministries without any counter proposals, sir? Ministries of Forestry or Ministries of Environment?
That would be difficult. So what will they do with the proposal? As I mentioned in the morning, you can write white paper if your area is not covered. If area is covered, then you need to respond to call for proposal. Not without it.
Thank you, sir.
Because even if you write, they will not be able to process. Because they need to process only a large number of proposals in a given time so that they know that this call is on. No, these are all open for consortia projects. There is no restriction. So any of the schemes, fellowships are individual centric. Project grants are open, and you can have n number of participants depending upon if you could justify their contribution to the project.
Valuable insights on research grant working and international funding opportunities. Your expertise has been truly inspiring and immensely helpful to all of us. Thank you, sir. As we approach the conclusion of this wonderful event, it is time for the valedictory address. Today, to deliver this, I invite Dr. R. Nagaraja Prakash, Convener, Associate Dean, Research and Accreditation, to share his thoughts and officially bring this event to a close. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I understand that it's time for lunch now. I'll finish it very quickly. That's probably one of the reasons not too many questions came at the end of the session. Anyway, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. S.K. Varshini, for traveling all the way from Dehradun to Tamil Nadu. And in fact, yesterday's travel journey, as Balamaran was mentioning at the beginning, it was quite tedious. Thank you, sir, for taking all the pain, to reach here. I'm pretty sure that the faculty members present here would have been immensely benefited from your, you have brought in a wealth of experience with you that we could easily see over here. It's not just, words of mouth, but just from your experience, that is, I think it is invaluable. So I think the session beautifully covered all aspects of writing a grant proposal, starting from what the basic work that you need to do before you start writing the proposal. The most important thing is you have to start writing. I think that has been beautifully emphasized. And the structure of the proposal has been outlined, and then each component of the proposal has been explained in detail. And the most important part is, we are actually working towards constitution of the Research Advisory Board, sir. So we actually expect a long, fruitful collaboration with you as well as an institution. So we look forward to it. And then another aspect which I also have been telling to my team is that you don't wait for a particular call to open. So the call will always be 30 days, 45 days, maximum 60 days. You can never build a proposal within that time frame. It is impossible. You will have to see the general overlay of a project proposal is always the same. You'll have to tweak here and there for different schemes depending upon their expectation. Unless and otherwise, it is almost the same. But if you have an idea, you please start writing the moment you have it. And I think that is what he has also emphasized very clearly. And then he has also given us various, we have been exposed to various international fellowships, grants, bilateral cooperation which are possible. Probably we have not heard of it so far. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I would like some of the faculty members to give their feedback. Someone. Can someone come forward? Just one or two quick feedback. See, the feedback is to ensure that one, how the session went and what we can do in future to help you, train better. Okay. We had one session, though it was a virtual session, and then we had this session. What I have been observing is people from commerce, arts, and social sciences, they might need a separate session where we are actually particularly focusing on science part. So we'll try to have a session for management, law, and other disciplines which we have not covered so far. With that words, thank you all for taking part in this workshop. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.